Hello, and welcome to part 2 of my robot adventure at the Bot Brawl Robot League. Before I get into the matches, I want to start off by showing some of the changes I made between V1 and V2 because I didn't get to it in the first video. So the first big change is that there is quite a size difference width-wise between version 1 and version 2. Reason I could do that is because I swapped to much smaller repeat brushed motors versus version 1, which used silver sparks. And the problem with silver sparks is while they work great power-wise, the gearbox, they tend to be very fragile, and the shaft is only 3 millimeters thick, which means you can end up like this. The second big change is the weapon motor. This version 1 ran F2822, a FingerTech motor, and version 2 uses an RS2205, which is 2300 kV versus the 1100 kV of the F2822. For those who don't know, kV is RPM per volt. So because this motor is also quite a bit more fragile than the F2822, I decided to gear it rather than directly power it like version 1 did, because version 1 actually mounted the weapon directly to the motor using this hub. To go along with the geared motor, I have a geared weapon hub. This one's a little chewed up from the tournament, you'll see why soon. So this is just, it's very simple, but it's a lot of components. So the first bit that presses up against my chassis is thrust washer, and I just dropped one. Going through a shoulder bolt, and in the hub there is a bearing, and on the other side there is an oilite sleeve bearing. So that's to keep it rotating freely and so that nothing melts. And with that all together, the hub simply just slots into the chassis, and that's it. Robot. So with that, let's get into it, and you'll see how I did. Oh, one more thing to note. I did get my aluminum wheel hubs. I was using plastic during the weeklies, but I got aluminum ones during the tournament, so my wheels did not just blast off for no reason. So fight 1 of the tournament bracket, I'm against a robot named O Invincible, a 4-wheel drive vertical spinner. Now he showed up so late that when he started assembling his robot, they threatened to disqualify him if he didn't just put his weapon on and go. So he only had one wedge. You can see I start sideways because the torque from my weapon spin up actually pulls me to the right. I get stuck on my gyroscopic force, and I do it one more time. I forget how to drive too. Kind of get pushed around and beat up a little bit, but my wheels are taking direct shots. Now I did put a button underneath my bolt. It doesn't make contact with the floor until I get into a hole, but it prevents me from getting stuck into holes, in holes like I did that first week. I take that wedge off. Big shot there. Now I think that shot, it made my weapon bounce so hard that I hit my underside. There's a huge crack right underneath my battery, and right there my aluminum snap ring that holds my wheel on flies off. So I still have the aluminum hub, but I lost the ring that closes over the wheel, so it could fall off. Now the battery, when I cracked my own chassis, you can see there, I'm pretty sure I actually hit my own battery, because when I pulled it out after this fight, it was a lot bigger than it should have been. hit the wall real hard. His weapon is going down. I'm not sure why. And I stopped my weapon because my battery is already dying 2 minutes and into the match.
Does your weapon still work?
It works. I just don't know if it's
Pretty sure
on.
it's because I hit my battery. Or it could just because we kept smacking each other so many times. Motors tend to draw a lot more amps if they are continuously trying to ramp up.
Okay, then just don't.
At this point it's really low. You can barely hear the weapon hum. He gets his 10 seconds of pin, and I try to delay until the end.
Do one more shot, Alex. We've got 20 seconds left. Or you have 20, never mind. You got your battery?
So, I do manage to pull the judge decision here. I spin up my weapon one more time to show them it works. But my battery was so low that I could not drive and spin up my weapon at the same time. After my weapon stopped, I could drive again. So, next fight, I'm against a hammer saw named Pistol Shrimp. A hammer saw is a vertical type spinner on an arm, but it swings downwards to bite into your top, which you can see I put my armor on. He has a very meaty titanium wedge, and I was very surprised that happened. I thought one of us would bounce, but I just kind of polished his wedge for him. He entered with some issues with his electronics. There was power switching on and off repeatedly throughout the fight, which is really unfortunate. You can see I keep backing up and trying to get speed at him so that my weapon will bite harder. I get some good bites on the side of his wedge, but it's too hard. I can't do anything to it. He gets some overhead shots from the back. Overhead back shots. He tore my top plate up quite a bit and knocked off one of the Tigris plates. And he hit the ground and his own arm fell off. I don't think that was anything I did. When I hit the arm, somebody screamed no. I thought it was very funny.
Don't hurt yourself.
So now one of his sides is completely down. Don't really know why. His wheels are very tough. And I hit the wall so hard you can see a piece of my now plastic snap ring is on the floor. I didn't have another aluminum part, so I had to use a plastic replacement. They are strong enough to hold when I am flying around the arena, but apparently my weapon is strong enough to send the shock through my robot. I get stuck in the side of the wall there, but because the snap ring is off, the wheel is flexible and I just pop out. So, intentional. I show that my weapon works even though I got the knockout. Fight 3 is against an overhead spinner named Dragonfly. You can see I put my titanium wedges on the front. He has like a 9-inch blade or something, and mine is only 6 3/4 inches. So my strategy is to just try to use my titanium to make him bounce and destabilize, and then come in and hit him once I've done that. can see I approach slowly here, and he hits the wall, destabilizes, and I'm free to just go in on him. I blow a wheel off there, as well as the belt for the other wheel on that side. He's still alive. I aim for the wall. A funny moment with my gyroscopic force where I tried to get him, but missed. His robot just kinda died here, or I don't know if he just stopped on the controls, but he was counted out. And I made it to Grand Finals. And once again, I am facing my demon, Tamarack. Now, I would have been very confident going into this fight, but since I lost my aluminum snap ring, that means I am much more prone to losing one of my wheels. Now, I successfully keep my nose pointed here, and there goes that wheel that had the plastic snap ring. I actually hit myself so hard with that impact that I peeled a chunk of my base plate down that was blocking my weapon. They give me an unstick because I drove myself into the crack in the floor immediately. If I had been knocked there from the impact itself, that would not have been an unstick. It's pretty wedged in there. It just beat it up. So you can see my wheels are purple here. These wheels are actually Kevlar reinforced Vitaflex. Vitaflex is a kind of cast rubber, a two-part mold. And my weapon would be spinning here, except that chunk of my chassis is in the way. You can see it tries there. And you can see he's hit my wheel a couple times, and that Kevlar reinforced Vitaflex it does not care about the impacts. So if I had my aluminum snap ring on the other wheel, this fight would have gone on quite a bit longer, I feel. But this robot is a monster, and the guy that drives this robot is quite young. I don't know how old, but he is a monster on the control stick. And right there, he actually hit my aluminum hub directly, which once again popped the back cover off of my motor that holds the brushes in. So thank you, Tamarack, for costing me the most money out of anyone. But good fights and good showing. So I managed to take second place, and I got a very nice trophy. So, technically only my second event ever, but there were so many fights and so much space throughout those fights that I could upgrade and iterate between weeks, and that allowed me to, by the time that the actual tournament came around, my robot was a full functioning beast. So that was very nice. This event was a blessing for me. It allowed me to go through so many issues in such a short time that other builders would have to spend months going through. I don't have many upgrades planned for it in the future. I'm just getting a higher capacity battery, which is always good. And the next robot that you're going to see will be Crash Out, which will be a two-wheel drive vertical spinner. It should be very fun. I will be competing again in December. I will be using both of these robots, so look forward to seeing that. I hope you enjoyed.